Hey, hey. I'm over here jamming to the intro beat. I like my little intro song. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Sip with Joy, a show about a girl, her why, and her feelings. And I am that girl. I am your host, Joy M. Hutton. I am a serial entrepreneur and a lover of food and wine. And yeah, speaking of wine, you know what it is. I'm back to my wine. I had beer last week, switch it up a little bit. But this is a Brunello from Tuscany, Italy. And if you all know me, you know that one of my favorite regions is Tuscany, Italy, and I love wines from Italy. I love wines from everywhere, but this is one of my favorites. Hey Lizzle, hey Rhonda, hey Jess Lee, welcome guys. So today I am drinking a Brunello. So cheers to you guys if you're drinking something. And if you are drinking something, make sure you drop it in the chat. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this episode, guys. Because listen, I keep this going because of you all. I'm just not here for myself, okay? So y'all got to engage, all right? So taking my sip. And yeah, if you're drinking something in the chat, let a sister know. All right. So today, y'all, the title of today's episode is There's a Stranger in My House. And I'm going to talk about how you feel alone and you in a whole relationship. I also want to talk about why so many people are getting divorced and all the divorces that are happening, the divorces that are happening out there. And then we are in the era of the gray divorce, and we're going to talk about that too. So, first I want to talk about the being alone when you're in a whole relationship. And I have definitely been in this space before. Hey, Elsie. And because it's definitely possible. You got a whole body is sitting next to you every day, and you can feel like you're not even in a relationship, like you're in that relationship all by yourself. And I know when I was married, I felt like that, and I'm like, we're in the same house, but I felt like the emotional connection was lost. And one of the things that was missing, which I thought was there, but when we spent more time being married to one another, was there was no foundation for friendship. And I feel like when you have a foundation for friendship, at least when you don't like that person that day, you still love that person because you all are friends. And so I felt like there was no foundation for friendship. So when you just don't like somebody and then the love is gone, like you just start checking out. And so that was definitely happening, and that foundation, for friendship was definitely important. And then just creating a foundation for the relationship in general. Like I said, the emotional foundation that should be there. And once that's gone, and if there's a lack of trust, for example, those are hard to rebuild. And so you start to feel like you're in this all by yourself. And that's definitely how I was starting to feel. And I'm like, okay, how can you get that back? And there are ways, therapy, counseling, but once you have done that, and there's no salvaging it, then obviously you need to go. But sometimes a lot of people stay in relationships and marriages where they're miserable for whatever reasons, whether it's financial dependency or whether they feel like there's nobody else out there for them. There are a lot of reasons. But if you ain't happy, try to make your exit plan, is what I'm saying. But to each his own. So yeah, it's definitely possible to feel that way, and then schedules can create that detachment too. If you're not seeing that person anymore, you might feel like you're in a long distance relationship and that person is right there in your house. You like, I don't even see you anymore. And that kind of leads me to the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, we noticed that there were a lot of divorces, and it was like, dang, why are there so many divorces? Well, people were forced to be around each other, and it raised the question of like, okay, do I really know this person? But other things were happening too. Like I know people I talked to that did the pandemic with someone, and maybe they were in a relationship, they broke up because it's like, I don't really know who this person is. And you don't have those distractions from work, for example, where you going to work every day, you don't see that person every waking moment. Like, you wake up, that person is breathing in your face. You going to bed, you doing your work, you eating. Every waking moment, especially when it was locked down, could be miserable if you're in a space with someone all day, and then you add kids on top of that. And thank God, listen, God knew not to have me with nobody's kids, because I don't know if I would have made it, y'all. I really don't know if I would have made it. So, you had kids to the mix. Kids are stressing you out, and then you're in the house with this partner, and you don't have a distraction. You can't leave and go to work. You can't leave and go to your friend's house. I mean, well, some people were going to friends' houses, but there was advising you not to do that because of COVID. But you don't have the same distractions that you do. Go to the bar, go to a restaurant, just escape from your house, when you're trying to get away from your mate. So, and then there could be other factors too that are creating stress. You have, maybe you lost your job during the pandemic, and that creates stress. So when you have all these outside factors and you're stuck in the house with somebody, and maybe you all haven't had to deal with conflicts like this before, that also creates tension and can lead to breakups and divorce. Lydia said that happened in your most recent relationship, that a regular schedule killed your relationship. Exactly. And that happens, like, if you're not seeing that person, it's like, okay, we're down to seeing each other maybe once a week, or I see you when you wake up, see you when you go to bed. That can definitely have an effect on a relationship. And then, a lot of people also got divorced, or they were breaking up during the pandemic because they were probably unhappy to begin with. And then the pandemic just kind of brought out all these other things that surfaced because of it. So yeah, when you have to be up under somebody, and a lot of the times, because people ask me, well, do you want to get married again? And honestly, I do, but I have been by myself, especially post-divorce, having done that before, post-divorce and having lived by myself. It's going to be a transition for me if I decide to get married again. Or if I do get married again. I shouldn't say if I decide. I would like to. But if I do get married again, it's going to be a transition for me to live with someone again. Because I'm like, can we just live next door to each other? Do a long distance marriage? But it is, when you've been by yourself for so long, it's hard. And then when you're forced to be with somebody every day, there's an adjustment that has to be made. So it's going to be a struggle, because there are some things that I've learned about myself post-divorce, and, after being married, and then, again, being in my own space for so long, where I'm like, man, I kind of like my space. I know where everything is. I, want to walk around looking a certain way. When you're married or when you're living with someone, all of that changes, and you're like, ooh, this person is in my space. So even when people come to visit, I'm like, okay, about 3 days, all right, that's enough. All right, let's just, you don't need to stay longer than that. Reg said he wants me to speak on the river boat brawl. That's crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. We'll get to that. So so again, you have these outside factors that interfere with your daily flow, the zen and the balance that you have when someone's not necessarily around all the time. All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is the gray divorce. We are in the era of gray divorces. So if you don't know what a gray divorce is, that is the increasing trend of divorces among couples over the age of 50. Now, I told my parents, don't y'all even think about it. Because I have friends whose parents got divorced. And I'm like, y'all been together forever. What is out there for you? But at the same time, if it's a matter of my parents, they say, you know what? I'm not happy, whatever. But listen, Mr. and Mrs. Hutton, don't even try it. But yeah, I mean, of course, I want my parents to be happy. But no, I'm for real though. Y'all hear me? Okay. So This is happening because more people are choosing to seek happiness and fulfillment in their later years, and even if it means starting over. I read this article and this woman said, I do not want to die next to this man. And I said, damn, that's a little harsh. Like that's some strong language she used. But she was like, no, my happiness needs to start now. And she got a divorce and she had to start all over. She was like 70 something years old. Had to get a part-time job because they had their two pensions and what have you. But she said she didn't want to die next to that man, y'all. I said, wow, that's tough. But I guess you have to think about that. Do you want to grow old with one another? Do you want to spend your last days being unhappy? And I think that's something to ask yourself. Do you really want to spend your last days with this person being miserable and just looking at this person and you know that person is irritating the hell out of you? So people are choosing their happiness. And listen, y'all know I'm an advocate of choosing my happiness, choosing my peace. Let's see, LaDonna said, amen, sis. I love my space as well, and it took me a while to get and gain the love that I have for myself right now. Amen. Because when you by yourself, you really start doing a lot of self-reflection. So I am all about that. Carlene says she read that too. Reg said, I feel you've been divorced for 12 years and I'm like, you move into your own beat feels amazing. It does. You just really get to a point where you love your peace. You love your peace of mind. You love the peace that's around you. And so, it's hard trying to merge your lives, especially the older that you get. I'm like, man, I wish I had done these things in my 20s, had kids when I was younger, because look, I still want kids, y'all. And I was just talking to Lydia about this. I'm like, I'm going to be an older mother, but guess what? I am not of the mindset that your life has to stop when you have children. I don't believe that. Baby gonna be strapped on, and we going to travel. Okay, we're going to do all the things. I'm going to be that mother whose baby is everywhere. So talk about me if you want to, okay? All right. Michelle said, everyone is tired. We tired. Ain't nobody got time. And not only are people tired, but people's patience is low. People's tolerance level is low too, which I think is why people are like, you know what? I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be married. I don't need all this. I just want to be free. And yeah, people are tired. We are exhausted. We have been through an entire pandemic, y'all. And not only that, all the things that came with the pandemic, the job loss, death, just being in the house. Like, I'm an introvert, and that created even more anxiety for me by having to go out and interact with people, because people are like, oh, I thought the pandemic would be heaven for like introverts. No, yeah, it is being in the house, but when you have to go back out and interact with people and you a germaphobe, yeah, no. it's a recipe for disaster. Let's see, Galactos said, the internet has ruined many individuals' conceptions of what love and marriage should be. Yes, people have this idea of this perfect marriage, and that's not a reality. It's definitely not a reality. And no one's saying you got to air all your dirty laundry, but it's a lot of people just out here just lying about what marriage is. One of the things that I did not do when I was married was lie to my single friends. I was very transparent about the things that I was dealing with. And because I'm not going to sell you this false reality. It may look like, oh, y'all look so cute. Oh, power couple. Yeah, but this stuff is crazy behind the scenes. So, yeah. People don't know what's going on, and it's not for everyone to know, but there are certain things about marriage that I think you should be transparent about, especially to your single friends, so they're not out here thinking it's all cookies and cream. And even people with kids too, because people are like, oh my God, I love my baby. I know you love your baby, but can you tell me about the restless nights, the sleepless nights that you had? Like, tell me the good, bad, and the ugly, because if I'm going into this, I don't want to be like a deer in headlights when I experience this for myself. So, yeah. Elsie said, "Hey, Janet had a baby at 50." Yeah, Elsie, but I don't want to be 50. See, when I do the calculations, and I was telling one of my team members this. I was telling her, I said, because she was asking me questions about dating, and she was like, "It is different." She was like, "You have time." I was like, "Girl, no, I don't." And I was like, "Here's the thing: if I'm 50 and I have a baby." It means by the time my child graduates high school, I'm going to be almost 70 years old. And granted, listen, I might be a fly 70 years old, but I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. So, I just want to, I need to get this ball rolling soon is what I'm saying. So, yeah. LaDonna said, "Yes, I have gained an infinite number of peace, but an infinite number of impatience for other things." Yes, girl, my impatience, my level of patience is shot. My nerves are bad. My anxiety level is high, and I really think a lot of that is due to the pandemic, and not only that, trauma that came with the pandemic as well, like loss. I lost my sister, and then but like just before that I was ending a 2.5 year divorce. So it's like back to back trauma, and then you got to go into lockdown, and then you come out of lockdown, you got to deal with people and the fear of like getting sick, and it's just too much. Everybody's nerves are shot right now. That's why you got people just breaking out in fights and road rage and just shooting up everything. It's crazy. Y'all saw what happened in Alabama. Now we all gonna have folding chairs in our cars just to, just in case, just to whoop somebody's ass right quick. Everybody has this rage. Everybody is looking for an opportunity to beat a hoe down. We got it in us. Everybody got it in us. We're just one nerve away from beating a hoe down. Okay? All right. So, let's see. Reg said, "If you found the right guy, would you ever propose?" See, no. And that is actually one of my what the sips, because I got two what the sips today. So we're going to get to that. And hell no, Reg, I'll die. I will not. I will not get on my knee. No, I will not propose to a man. I'm just not doing it. So it's not happening. Okay, Galacto said, "Too many people nowadays think that an initial connection involving sex and emotions means they will have a good long-term relationship. I wonder if men's usage of pornography has changed this." I definitely think porn has played a role because it creates an emotional detachment. So if you think about it, you're watching something on the screen. Just think of how we scroll through the internet, and we could see something horrible, and we've just become so numb to certain things that we're like, "Oh wow, another celebrity is dead, another this, another that." Like, "Oh, a bomb here. Oh, submarine." People become detached to those things, and pornography can definitely contribute to people becoming emotionally detached to where then you got problems in the bedroom, because it's like, hello, I'm a whole human here, but you're not seeing me as a human because you have, formed this relationship with your computer screen. So yeah, definitely Galactos. Lydia said, "I can answer that for her and most women on here." Hell no. Exactly, Lydia. Hell to the no. I'm not getting on my knee. All right. Reg Rich said, "My ex-wife did." I need a second, y'all. I'm gonna just drink my wine. Okay. See, Reg is just over here starting problems. That's what you doing, okay? Um, Lydia said, "Good for her, and she's an ex." Right. Just like there are certain things that men do where you lose respect for them, there are certain things that women do where men lose respect for us as well. So I'm gonna leave that there. Galacto said, "Great insight as always. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate your wisdom." Oh, thank you so much. So, so I was talking about these gray divorces, y'all, because like I said, see, I don't know where my mama and daddy is. Maybe my daddy listen, but he don't be commenting. He just be lurking. But I don't know where my mama is, because usually she got something to say. But anyway, people grow at different rates. And I know, I mean, I've seen people transform in marriages, but you either grow apart or you can grow together. And some people grow apart. And then just think about it, like people, you guys who have kids, once those kids are gone, you got to learn each other all over again because your attention has gone to those kids. So that also plays a role in, why people may get a divorce, because the kids are out of the house and you may be like, listen, who are you again? These kids ain't around, so can you kind of get out of my space? And I've talked to my parents about this, like when me and my sister were out of the house, like they, it was a little rocky, and then they were able to kind of, get to know each other all over again. Now they good. Now they like each other. Plus, they're high school sweethearts, so they got a love-hate relationship anyway. They like The Notebook. Oh, there she is. There she is. She was lurking, too. There's my mama. Yes, sometimes you outgrow your spouse. Where were you, mother? Where were you? Let's see. And, yes, hit that like button, y'all, okay? So YouTube can, give me my points. All right. So let's get to the what the sip. So Reg already brought it up, but about women proposing to men. So we've already addressed that. Like, no, it's not happening. And I just y'all, I just don't understand what's happening out here. I just really don't. And so there are a lot more women proposing to men, giving men, promise rings and all types of other things happening out here that's shifting the roles in relationships. And I'm just like, what is going on? And this is why, and then people want to ask me, why am I single? Well, Susie over here proposing to men. She getting down on her knees. No, these knees were not made for that. Okay? All right. So, yeah, that's a what the sip. And then the other what the sip, because I had to have two because I saw it pop up on my screen. And this is probably another reason why people are getting divorces, is because people are having whole identity crisis out here. So, Wayne Brady comes out as pansexual. He said, I love all people equally, and now that includes myself. Y'all, listen, to each his own with whatever title you decide to give yourself. But here's the thing, I can't keep up with them. I don't know if y'all can, but I can't keep up with all these titles, and I'm tired. Like Michelle said, everybody is tired. So now we are the world up in this piece. We just gonna love everybody, and we expect everybody to love us for all these different titles. Why even put a title on it? Just do what you do. So now you pansexual, Wayne Brady, which, I have my thoughts about what Wayne Brady was anyway, but whatever. We'll leave that to the internet. But y'all, I can't keep up is what I'm saying. And then you have these things. Like, look at what happened with Chris and Bruce Jenner. He was the whole, and he is now a she. She is now Caitlyn. A whole woman. You got these under whatever men and women, because the women are coming out too. You got women now marrying women. They were married to whole men. I think everyone is just finding themselves. Maybe people found themselves during the pandemic, and so now they are exploring their true selves. So now people are like, you know what? I wasn't really interested in men in the first place, and now I'm going to be with a woman. I wasn't interested in women in the first place, I'm going to be with a man. And that is fine. That is not the problem. The problem to me is, don't involve me in your identity crises. I have explicitly said what I want, so I don't want to be involved in the shenanigans is what I'm saying. Lydia. Okay. So let's see. LC said it's crazy. Women on social media sucking men's toes and proposing is crazy. My mom said, are we so thirsty that we need to move on a man? Ugh, that's a no. I like the old-fashioned way. They have to earn it. My mom said, I've been married for over 35 years and I'm not sucking no toes. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Reg says, same here. I was just asking since women not waiting these days. LC said, me either. Y'all not sucking toes. I'm not doing that. I have a thing about feet. Yeah, I got a thing about feet anyway. But yeah, so listen, guys. No judgment for what you want to do out here. I just don't want to be involved in people's identity crisis. Just be who you are and be honest about who you are. Nobody cares. I really don't think people care at the end of the day. It's just about being honest. And that's where I get upset, because it's like, but you told me you were one thing and then you're another thing. Like, that's not okay. Nobody cares. Maybe some people care, but I don't care. Do what you do. Just don't have me out here thinking one thing and then later you come and tell me something else. Because when I go all in, I go all in. You know, that's just how I love. I'm a Capricorn. So I need people to just be honest. All right? That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So yeah, that was a lot, guys. That was a lot. But I think at the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves what it is that we truly need and desire in relationships. Because, hey, again, people grow apart. You can change your mind. It happens. We're human. No one's faulting us for that. Let's see. Rhonda said, I have to be deaf, blind, and dumb to suck on toes. The honesty is a real problem. LC said, if people are honest, I can't be angry at the truth. Exactly. I've had men tell me that they are bisexual, but at least you're giving me an option to decide what to do with that information. You know, don't tell me later and then expect me to be okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's about being honest. Don't tell me later that you have all these kids. Don't tell me later that you still getting a divorce. Don't tell me later that you got 3 other women on the side. There's so many things. Don't tell me later. That should be a name of an episode. Don't tell me later. You know, just don't tell me later. Just be honest so that we can move on with our lives and you can find someone who is aligned with what you want. All right? Okay. Don't. LC said, don't tell me anything later. All right? Right. Just be honest. My mom said, if something happens to your father, I'm out. I'm done and done. I'm just going to travel. Exactly. I already said earlier, you were in your meeting, but y'all don't have an option to get a divorce. I'm just saying. I was talking about great divorces earlier, so just, you know, okay, bye. All right. So yeah, we gave my mom that little pep talk, so now we're good. But yeah, y'all, we just gotta be honest out here. And you really need to know, you really need to like that person. Have a foundation for friendship, because if you're gonna be stuck in the house together, like, just think. If you are in a relationship with someone, do you think you can be stuck in the house with them if you were forced to? Like, we're not even talking about marriage. Can you survive a hurricane with this person? Can you survive lockdown with the person? And if the answer is no, then you probably can't be married to that person. That's just the reality. Like, think about those circumstances, because right now it's like, oh, this is cute. We see each other once a week, maybe twice a week. We go on our trips. But no, can you like be in the house every day with that person? And again, if the answer is no, like if somebody like eating cereal or drinking their water, like it just bothers you, you probably just need to live by yourself, okay? And I have to deal with myself on these things too, guys, because I'm very sensitive to sound. But again, I've been married before, and I've dealt with living with a person before. But now I've been by myself, so it's hard, y'all. Reg said, just curious, what type of guy are you looking for? Corporate, gone out of town, blue collar, hard working, and they're working and there for you and the kids. So I don't answer that question, Reg, just because I want a guy to show me who he is. Because I want you to show me who you are. So I don't like just saying, giving the list of who that person is. I want someone who is going to be aligned with me. And if you all have heard me talk about alignment and the things that are important to me, and if a guy who is interested to me in me has been listening, then he will know that. But I've gotten to a point where I don't really say, oh yeah, this is what I want in a guy, because there's a whole lot of chameleons out there, and they transform themselves into who they think you want, or to who you told them you want. And so I've just stopped doing that. Just show me who you are. Let's get to know each other, and if you don't like me and I don't like you, then we can move on. But it's not about like comparing notes on who we like. Let's see. LC said, love covers a multitude of things. Exactly. As Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it? Because you need more than that, okay? I need to know if I can survive in this house with you without killing you. You know, you don't want to choose violence. You know, you want to be in a peaceful situation. And that goes back to alignment. Because I firmly believe, and this is my belief, I firmly believe that if you are with the right person, that it doesn't have to be that complicated. I really believe that in my heart of hearts, guys. And that is what I am hoping for. One day, when I come on Sip with Joy, I will share with you guys that I found that person. But until then, we're going to keep on talking about this stuff and talking about all of these things that we're going through, because somebody needs to hear it, okay? And I believe in being honest about these things, because I know I'm not the only person going through these things. So make sure you guys you guys have commented, and if you're not subscribed, if you're just lurking, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. I always love having these conversations and getting the engagement from you all, which is why I do this live, because just me talking to a microphone, I'm like, I don't know if anybody's resonating with these thoughts. So yes, you and your boo can come on and tell how you met. I don't know. I might be just Issa Rae, y'all. Just keep him in a dungeon. He just gonna be for me. Y'all will see the back of his head. I'll put a curtain over him. Be like, babe, you can talk, but I'm just gonna put this curtain on you. You're gonna see the back of his head, cause you know, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to let the good Lord lead me on how to deal with him in public. But yeah, I love these conversations. You guys are great. I appreciate you watching. And I will see you guys next week. Next week, we're talking about friends. What about your friends? Because I know some of y'all have lost friendships. I have lost friendships. And just talking about the value of that. Because I think especially as you get older, it's hard. Like, finding friends is like dating, and it's even harder to meet new friends when you don't really get out the house, or like during the pandemic when people were stuck in the house. So yeah, I think that it's hard making friends. And then the older you get and you start growing apart, just like you do in your personal relationships, your love relationships, it can happen with friendships as well. So I'm having a guest on next week to talk about that. She's also a wine connoisseur too, so I can't wait to talk to her about that. Elsie said no new friends. Right. Right, the infamous armpit. Right, you're going to get a hand. It's going to be me and him like that. That's all y'all going to get. All right. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you back here next week.